my husband's 30 meters. Driving is dangerous. I'm posting here today out of sheer desperation. I'm at my wit's end with my husband's driving and don't know what to do. Over the years, he has always been a dangerous, reckless driver. He scares me frequently, but it's his driving when he is alone that has me worried. He has gotten 6 speeding tickets in the past 2 years, all to and from work, 50 meters one-way trip, and a ticket for an unsafe lane change. His license is suspended, and he has an occupational license for now. As you can imagine, this has cost us a fortune, both in tickets and insurance. He is super aggressive on the road, and feels other drivers are the problem. We use the GPS family locator app, which includes driver insights, and he tops out at over 100 plus phone 9/10 times when he is behind the wheel alone. I'm thankful he isn't as crazy of a driver with myself or our child in the car. Regardless, feel it's unacceptable. Not only is he completely disregarding the added expenses this is creating, I'm genuinely scared he is going to eventually die in a fiery car crash. It feels like he has no disregard for his life. We have a 3-year-old and another on the way, and the reality of the situation is starting to set in. I know I can easily not get in the vehicle with him, but how can I influence him to slow down when driving alone? I love this man and have spent 7 years building a life together, but it feels as if his driving habits have only gotten worse with age. He is far from perfect, has a temper, and hard to talk to about stuff like this, without him resorting to you and my mom. Stop nagging me. He's a good dad, and I don't particularly want to leave, but without change feel it's inevitable. I want him to understand that his decisions impact our entire family, not just him. I also feel it's unfair that I constantly have to worry if today is a day he didn't make it to work safely. Is it possible to get this message across, or is this a losing battle? If he didn't learn his lesson when he lost his license, I doubt he'll learn now. He's reckless and stupid. You can't fix that. He has to pull his head out of his ass on his own. Therapy could help with that, but only as much as he wants it to work. Go get a life insurance policy now. Unfortunately, you are probably going to see it pay out sooner rather than later. At this point, it is unlikely he will change. Legal trouble hasn't given him second thought. Financial penalty hasn't given him second thought. You probably won't either. Make sure you know where everything is. Make sure you know how to lodge in and pay your mortgage. Make sure you know how to pay the health insurance. Make sure you know where the titles to the cars are. Make sure you know where the bank accounts are. My dad went to anger management when his road rage/stress got out of control, and it was actually extremely helpful. Just a thought. Is it possible to find out why he drives so aggressively? It could be something related to a deeper issue, in which case, telling him to stop won't work. There's something else driving his reckless road behavior. It's worth asking him without judgment, just to see where it goes. 50 miles is a pretty long commute to work. Maybe it's boredom. He could see about getting into podcasts or audiobooks that might help stave off the long hours. But all in all, he desperately needs therapy. So if I'm hearing this properly, not only does he have severe issues with driving, he has general anger management issues as well. Never mind killing himself. He could kill me, or my mom, or my brother, or anyone reading this post. His behavior is not just your problem. It is illegal for a reason. This is inexcusable. He needs to change. However, he is probably addicted to the anger that induces this kind of driving. He's going to need to hit bottom and get professional help. You also need to remember that his recklessness will impact entire families not related to him. Families that just happen to be in wrong place at the wrong time. If you truly care about his safety and those around him, then document his driving and report it. Let his driving privileges be completed revoked. A 100 miles per hour accident is guaranteed to kill. First, if you can't convince him, stop monitoring him. Monitoring only helps if he actually considers the evidence gained. If he doesn't, it's just a way for you to be stressed without any ability to alter the thing causing stress. Can you move nearer his work? It might not make any difference, but that is a lot of commute time, especially for someone who is likely to lose the driving privileges he still has. What will happen then? The legal liability he is creating is enormous. The tickets and court fines are nothing compared to what is going to happen if he injured or kills someone. If nothing else, speak a lawyer about how to protect yourself and your children from a civil judgment. Spoiler, varies state to state, but generally you can protect yourself a little but not a lot. Again, this information may make no difference to him. You need to stop thinking about how to convince him and start just making choices for yourself. There is a chance you are going to be widowed, divorced, bankrupt, or caring for a person with a traumatic brain injury in your not too distant future. Get your ducks in a row. Do not count on this man financially. You need to start working on your own career. Pregnant or not, you need to assume you will be supporting yourself and your children. Whatever is going on with him may change or it may not. By all means, try counseling. But bottom line, depend on yourself. Wow, that post history. Brief but paints quite a picture. What are you getting out of this relationship? You need to value your life, your child's life, your pregnancy, and everyone on or near the road that you know your husband is endangering. You've enabled this endangerment. You've known how he's been for years. You've stayed by his side as he's told you over and over again that he doesn't care about his life, anyone else's life, or your family's finances. You are modeling this behavior to your children. You're telling them it's okay if someone drives to endanger, so long as they're family. You're allowing this man to ruin your family. Why? You cannot control other people. Your husband does not think he's in the wrong. He will not change. You need to consult with a divorce lawyer before your husband kills someone else while you are fucking married to him and on the hook for the damages that will 100% be his fault. Before you're married to a man who is in fucking jail, put yourself and your child and your pregnancy first. If your husband can't be asked to either obey the rules of the road or not drive, then he doesn't get to tag along and drag your family down. It is only a matter of time. Opus. I hate to say this, but the only thing that stopped my husband from driving like a lunatic was him flipping his car over. Thankfully he was fine, just a small concussion, but it stopped him from being reckless. I hate that it got to that, and sometimes he still drives too fast for my liking, but overall his driving is less rage-filled / fast and furious style. He's not a good day when he's a dangerous driver. In the end, if he kills himself, that's not my problem, but imagine him killing other people while he's killing himself because he caused a head-on collision or ended up driving into a bus stop. Imagine that. How do you think he'll drive when your kids are young teens and might like a bit of speeding, but they are too young to appreciate how dangerous this is? Will he drive fast with them in the car for the fun of it? What kind of example would he set for your kids? This is a hill I'd die on. You cannot afford the speeding tickets and you cannot afford to lose the father of your children. Other people don't want to be killed by him. I'd tell him that you want couples counseling to resolve this because he's clearly not trying your concerns seriously. Make him drive a Chevy Spark. That car is slow AF. No cars with V6 plus or 4-cylinder turbos for him. Have you tried talking to him and telling him you're worried he won't be around to be a father and your husband if he keeps driving as such? He's an adrenaline junkie and unfortunately there is nothing you can do. He has to hit rock bottom. Somehow losing his license, isn't it? He needs to get in a horrible accident, end up in jail, actually lose his license all the way, or lose his family, etc. before he will snap out of it and make a change. You obviously don't want him to get in a horrible accident, and I assume you don't want to leave him over it, so you have to think outside the box. Can you somehow get his occupational license revoked? Do you have a cop friend who can pull him over and throw him in jail so he gets scared straight etc? It's gonna have to be something like that. Something that severely disrupts his life as a direct result of his speeding, or nothing will change, and as you say he will eventually get into a terrible accident. Take his keys. He is a danger to himself and others. Until he grows up and drives responsibility, he can totally expect to be treated like the child he is. I wonder what will happen when a kid accidentally crosses the road at the wrong time, when he's driving 100 miles per hour like a maniac, and I'm really hoping we'll never have to find out. Ask him first if he wants to change. If yes, then put a governor on his car. Hire a mechanic. Put the device on his car that limits the speed to 65 to 70. If not, then his ticket money comes out of his fun money account, no longer coming out of the family account. Get a budget and stick to it. For his monthly amount of money he gets every month, he has to pay all of his tickets, fines, etc. out of the extra money he receives and nothing out of the joint account. If he doesn't want to do that, and still wants to spend the family money on his driving consequences, you will need to save the same amount each month to cover yourself when the inevitable happens. Get a life insurance policy on him, and become vigilant on never getting into the car with him driving. Wow. The post history. You feel you are being abused in this relationship already. You need an exit strategy. Wow, I could have written this. My husband is also a reckless driver. He does it while I'm in the car with him. I've literally had panic attacks while he was teaching them a lesson. I don't know what else to do either. I also get scared that one of these days I will get a call saying he died in a car crash. I wish I could help. If you decide to stay, maybe consider a life insurance policy because eventually, one day this will not end well. I'm somewhat speedy as I'm a road warrior for work. I almost went off a cliff during some icy conditions. I sincerely hope W2 kids you take out a generous life insurance policy on this guy and yourself. Most likely you will come to need it to help raise your kids when he successfully kills himself. I'm sorry you have to deal with this. That man shouldn't drive if he can't be safe. The reckless driving is a symptom of his anger management problems that needs to get addressed, but I'm assuming he's not the type to be receptive to therapy. Have him get a hefty life insurance policy if nothing else. This guy sounds like a greater asshole. I think it is time to have an honest talk with him. Sit down with him and talk openly about your concerns and fears. If he dismisses you with a cheap answer and starts to compare you to his mom, I'm sorry, but your marriage is not in a good place. Having a conversation and listening to each other should be quite normal, even if you don't share the same opinion. As a car guy, I do love to speed, but it sounds like his speeding is excessive at a minimum. Stopping the speeding and aggressive behavior is obviously your first priority. To help with the ticket collection, at least have him run wires when he drives. It will tell him where cops are sitting, which will at least give him a chance at saving his license and your family some money. I hope he drives a car that can safely drive those speeds. Many cars on the road have no business driving at 100 or more.